out there. Y'all ready to go, baby? Let's go. Body it down. Get groovy with it. Oh, you guys probably heard that. Hello and welcome everybody to the Guess What Show. Hope y'all are doing well. Welcome to the Guess What Show with myself, my guy, myself, my own and stuff. We'll bring in our co-host, Mr. Garguts himself.
Where am I at?
Yeah,
Who am I?
Where am I? I think you're somewhere, dude. I don't know.
Somewhere around.
And don't worry, Sean will be here in a minute. He's having some internet issues right there. No worries, bud. No worries. No worries, that happens. I understand definitely of the internet issue type in life. I hate it.
Yes, you do.
So, don't worry, Sean. I understand what it's like to have the crappy internet around here. So it's always okay. How you doing today, AJ?
I'm all right. Fucking just got done eating, so
all right.
not doing much.
Dude, what happened to you early? You guys disappeared on me.
I went to go eat. I told you I had food waiting in the microwave, and I went to go munch on that real quick, and I came back, and you were gone, and Bodark said that he fucking passed out on the couch.
Oh, that's what Bodark. Well, Bodark passed out on the couch pretty damn quick on me because it was like I was talking, and then fucking next thing I know, everyone just stopped talking to me.
I was like, oh, so that's what the meeting consists of? Just napping on the couch?
It wasn't even like really a meeting.
Yeah.
We were just talking.
Well, and I was like, that's what the Star Wars stuff consists of? Just napping on the couch.
Right? We haven't had one of those in a while.
Let me just tell people that we're live on your show.
I know, I was posting in the Discord, so I'll sit here and say hello to everybody in the chat that we got right now. We got RJ the Mad One. He was here a little early, and he's giving a little early hello and stuff. And then we got Zach Dong in the house, and Mickey Settlemeyer. What up, guys? What up, guys? We got the regular crew in the house.
Yo.
Oh, I like how we posted that right at the same time.
That was funny.
Like, damn.
Like, damn. Well, according to me, I got it a little bit before.
Oh, you technically did.
It's like the other day when I was like, oh, shit. I was like, we got almost 20 likes. We got 22 likes. And then I disliked the video. And then right when I did that, like a second after that, somebody disliked it. And I was like, oh, dude, you got there too late. I disliked my own video first.
Oh, the other night on your video? Or
yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was like, wait, when did I have 22 likes? Man. So other than that, man, what have you been up to lately? I know it's been not a long weekend for us. We've been doing this nice little guess what. It's a little guess what weekend, a little special weekend we got set up for you guys. We got Janice Lala in the house. What's going on, Janice?
What the fuck? Oh, there it is.
Oh, you can't find his phone. Watch out, guys.
No, I can't find the StreamYard tab. I was like, what the fuck is it? I minimized it.
Oh, sweet, dude.
That's
And
why I
we're
couldn't
looking
get my camera on.
nice. We're looking good, too. We're looking good, guys. We looking crystal clean. I put the internet on my phone.
The interwebs on your phone?
Yeah, I did a personal hotspot to my phone.
Oh, okay. The hotspot. Yeah, the hotspot.
Camera looking clean. So
hotspots.
That's nice. That's nice. Yep, we're just waiting on Sean right now. But until Sean gets here, I want to play a little guitar.
Yeah, might as well. I might as well join you on that. The smell what the rock is cooking. What is that?
Do you smell what the rock is cooking? I have this like set to like a crunch sound now. I thought this was supposed to be my clean channel. Hold up. Yeah, listen to that now. That's weird.
What happened?
When I first turned on my amp and stuff like that, I realized that my amp gave it a little bit more extra crunch. I liked the crunch that it had, but oh no. We got trouble in the house, guys. We got trouble in the house.
Already?
Oh, no, we have different trouble in the house. We have different trouble. We have the true trouble in the house. The one, the only, Mr. Sean Pierce Johnson.
What's going on, buddy boys?
What up, what up?
That fucking face. The true troublemaker.
It was me, Austin. It was me all along. What up, dudes?
Speaking about which, this is what I got for a special occasion today.
Ah, there you go.
There you go.
There you
Broken Skull
go.
IPA.
Open me a Steve Weiser.
Right up the old 405 from me.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Right
Oh man, through technical difficulties, I am here, gents. How y'all
Hey,
doing?
man. What up?
Doing
Oh,
pretty good.
man.
Doing pretty good. You know, I actually was asleep a little bit before the stream.
That's what you were doing. I knew it.
Well, it was my eyes were just and I was up since like a little early. I was like, all right, let me just lay down. I put on like one and yeah, I was up.
All right, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I wish I were sleeping, but no, it was an early morning for me.
Oh yeah. How was your morning though?
It was good, man. It was really good. It's good to kind of be sort of back in the saddle with some things. I started helping out with the production side of the church that I've been going to. So it was was like some teardown stuff and making sure like some streaming stuff is working all right. I've been playing in the house band a couple times recently. So today I had the week off.
Nice.
So that was nice. But I'm getting ready for the Christmas stuff coming up next week. So there's a lot of legwork for that.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah. That's what I was also up doing late last night. I was buying Christmas gifts.
There you go.
Did you join in the production side because technical difficulties last time?
Actually, it's funny. I finally figured out what happened with that whole technical difficulty thing after a little bit of experimentation. And I have the culprit right down here with me. So I got these volume pedals from Morley, and they're really cool. They don't like color the sound at all. Like the buffer in it is really good. But one of the drawbacks is that it functions way better because I have flat feet. So instead of my feet going straight, they kind of angle out a little bit. So I have to have this off the board. So basically, in order to power it, I have this lithium ion rechargeable battery that I can kind of have a cord hang slightly off the board and power this guy. Only problem is
there you go.
9-volt input, and the way the patch cables go, I have the patch cable going up. So when I went to go test it out, it actually happened while I was practicing at home for the Christmas stuff that's coming up. The power cable came ever so slightly out of the power jack on the volume pedal, and that caused a short to where I was getting no signal at all.
Oh, Jesus. That's a good one.
That's good. That's good. Well played, sir. Well played. But now
always the worst.
So you have an angular one now?
Well, now what I'm doing is I'm just running it off a 9-volt battery. So now the challenge will be remembering to, before the Christmas services, changing the battery.
Yeah.
And then unplugging it between the services.
Yeah.
I have a lot of irons in the fire with the rigs these days. It's an interesting time.
All because of that foot, man. That foot slant.
Yeah, if I just had some my feet had some arches, I probably wouldn't be having this problem.
Or you can make the first ever slanted wah pedal, the SPJ feet.
Oh yeah, me and my messed up flat feet.
And it'll be like a crooked. It might be nice because a lot of people are bow-legged. Yeah, a lot of bow-legged people. A lot of dudes are bow-legged. So
man,
it could be a good feet right there. Good feet.
Yeah, good feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This is a whole new kind of rig and idea for me that I've put together. I have some familiar things on there that I can like call things that I'm used to, and I can actually use some sounds that I'm fairly used to as well. Like I got the Rev G4 pedal on there. I'm mostly using guitars with single coil pickups for this particular gig, and that one's just like this great fat high gain distortion. Previously, I have all the Rev pedals. And the G3, the purple one, that one had been my main bag, baby. So with that guy, it's just got this like incredibly tight low end. The mids are just cutting. The gain is just raging, and so good. But for this particular gig, I needed fat. I needed big and fat. I didn't need cut. By the way, hi RJ, Demad One, and hi Mickey. I see you guys in the chat. Good to have you here. Thanks for tuning in with my ugly mug.
Oh,
feel like I'm treated special.
It's all right. I didn't shave just for this occasion, because if I shaved it would have been over.
Yeah, you had to make it look all pretty.
Oh, you got.
Hey, speaking about which, it's fucking weird. Literally, like 30 minutes ago, I was looking at nothing but Good Burger scenes. And then I'm like, and then I was wondering, I wonder if there's a YouTube video of anybody making a Good Burger. No, there's not.
What?
Yeah, I can't find one, but I found one.
Good Burger, like a actual burger.
I was like, I see all these Krabby Patty ones.
No, binging with Babish has had done one.
I don't know. I just like stopped looking for it before I went to go eat my hot wings and came back in here. So I couldn't find one on YouTube right away.
I don't think anybody has. Somebody needs to.
They capitalize on that. I think would I have to do it? And I saw one with the Ed sauce, but it was like filmed like on a cell phone and shit. It was all terrible, and I was like, I don't even know if this is the real Ed sauce, but
yeah. It's funny because like with that, I got this shirt last year at the Good Burger pop-up. Oh no, now the real trouble is here.
Trouble.
Quit in.
Oh shit.
But I can't believe like even the guy, because they got some, it was insane. They got some guy, I think he's the guy who does Egg Slut.
Yeah,
like he was executive chefing this thing, and it's like, how is there not a video of this guy on like Vice or Munchies or something?
He's on
showing how he. Yeah, it's just like, how come there's no video of him showing off how they make these good burgers?
Yeah.
What the hell, man? Come on.
What the fuck? Maybe it's like a secret. Nickelodeon's like, nope.
Secret recipe. But
We're Canadian. It's the only thing we got.
Politeness and
It might be
apology.
Keenan and Kel, man. It might be them because Keenan's still very prominent in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is. Kel got a little bit of a renaissance of sorts for himself a few years back, because he was on some Nickelodeon show. He was executive producing stuff. I think he's even executive producing the newer All That.
Yep, they
that
both
just
are.
started. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But I actually saw Kel do stand up back in 2016. He was pretty good stand up. Like, he's got the personality that you remember from when you were a kid, and we actually met him afterward too. Like, super cool dude. Like, he's got that energy that you always remember. Like, here it goes.
Oh,
Who loves
orange soda? I love orange soda.
What does that mean? He's like, why do I have to get a chicken in a box?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, I might be young, but I still love Keenan and Kel. Like, I remember going to Universal Studios in LA, just now by you and stuff. And I remember asking, like, because we did like one of like the bigger tours and stuff, and I was asking them about it. They're like, "Oh no, that's at the Florida one." But the lady that we had just at least knew what I was talking about. And stuff.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah.
She just said, "Oh, it's at Florida when it's right around the corner." She's brand new.
Right.
She's like, "Get away from me, kid! I'm about to get off work in like 2 minutes."
Yeah, man. The Universal Studios crew is
She's
pretty
forced me to go
on
the
it.
goddamn Haunted Mansion ride.
Oh boy.
Not into those. I
Oh,
see
boy.
we got RM here.
Uh-oh. From the werewolf.
Yes.
I gotta get out my what is it? A silver bullet or something like that. I can't remember. I always get how you kill vampires and how you kill werewolves mixed up.
Werewolf,
Bane
silver bullet.
and
Vampires is wooden stake.
There we go.
and it's Bane too. You gotta, or what is it? Wolfsbane.
Yeah, Wolfsbane. That too.
I haven't watched the old Wolfman in years, but I love those old.
I was watching that the other day. The first one. I have the original DVDs.
Yeah,
not the original DVDs, but the original films on DVD.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching it around like Halloween, and I was like, Jesus Christ! I was getting really into it. Like the story. Like there's no like special effects. It's just a storyline that you just fucking just sit there and like and stare like a zombie. It's really good.
The old Universal monster movies are just like they got it right off the bat. Bela Lugosi and Dracula, just he had it. He knew what to do, and largely it's fair. If I remember correctly, I haven't read the actual novel Dracula in several years, but it's fairly close. But even when they take their liberties with the story, it works. They just got it. They got it right off the bat. They found the right people to play the monsters or the key villains of the story. Mm-hmm. And it's like you were saying, AJ, like the fact that they're so limited in their special effects, it means that they have to do a lot with the story in order to really get the terror across. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why I don't watch horror movies these days, is because they're so driven by like the jump scare. They're so driven by shock. They're so driven by like the gore of it all that it's like we put too much gory and we forget the story.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
so
too much gory forgets the story.
You can even put that even towards like band lore and stuff like that, and bands, I guess, gimmicks or something like that and stuff. People that are like just doing only blood and gore and stuff like that, only like throwing blood on them, only doing that. They're not really getting anywhere if their music's not really doing any well.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Good gimmick.
Yeah, I mean, gimmicks are like, and you know, AJ and I know a thing or two about gimmicks.
I think we were talking about this when we were talking about it. Oh wait, no, I was talking about this with my own guy when I helped him move, my sound engineer. We were talking about just it goes to a point, like it can be all about the gimmick.
Yeah, it's like this was something I can't remember who I was talking to about this. But it was kind of like in the early, not really the early days of my channel, but I had started like really heavily investing in doing demos and doing videos again after having my channel for several years. And it was starting to gain some momentum. And I was kind of given this advice to like take on a character or a gimmick or something to that effect, and to treat it as such. And I kind of was, and AJ will know the association, I know, of course, but I kind of took the Chris Candido path with Mr. No Gimmicks Needed. I just didn't like that idea, because for me, it's like, you know, I don't know how many people were here that from, you know, on Thursday, I was showing you guys on my channel, like I got this new Stratocaster. And like for me, like the gimmick, there's no real gimmick with me like getting a Stratocaster. It's an exciting thing, but it's also a very real kind of thing for me, because when it comes to Fender style guitars, that's not my normal thing. That's not what I do all the time. So the story and the gimmick of that is like, how is this dude who doesn't normally get on with these kind of instruments going to respond to getting the latest and greatest that a company has to offer? So it's more important for me, like if there's any gimmick, it's just I don't have one.
There you go.
And that's that's what I like, you know. I'm staring at something.
Well, your gimmick's just you, a real life dude. You're a real life person. And being with me and AJ, we've actually gotten to hang out with you in real life. Stuff, you're no different. You're the same dude as always.
Like I suppose the one thing that I try to do a little bit when I do the videos is like in person I can actually be kind of quiet. I was actually thinking about that just today as we were handling some production stuff with people. But it was like I'm interacting with people that I know on a certain level. I'm interacting with people that I don't know on a certain level. And I find myself at some points in times being a little closed off because I just don't know people all that well. But I'm also just this California dude that just I grew up in a very relaxed kind of atmosphere. It's, you know, you go with the flow, you live a California life. And like when I think about places I've gone to on vacation that like speak to my heart, it's like you go to Hawaii, you're like in the island life. There's a vibe to that. Going to even like going to New Zealand, which is technically like a much more Britishized, as I've called it, kind of country, but there's like an island vibe to it. There's
I get what you're saying.
This very like laid back kind of attitude. But I suppose what I try to do with my videos nowadays is I try to inject a little bit more into what I do so that people can see like I'm not just some guy who can drone on and on about gear for hours on end. Granted, I am that guy. I am that guy.
but
you are that guy, but you have layers, brother. You're mystery.
Man, he's like an onion, man. He's like an onion.
Oh, you both have layers. So not everybody likes onions. See, right there. So you're right there. Cheers to that.
Chalice.
What's everybody drinking on tonight? That is another question that we have.
Well, nice. Tonight I decided to go with Pizza Port Swami's IPA. I probably shouldn't be. I shouldn't be drinking it this early, and I probably shouldn't be having it. Period. But I worked hard this week, so I'm chilling out
for the weekend.
Yeah,
dude. Fuck it. You're hanging out with homies.
Yeah. It's good to be hanging
like a barbecue. Except in different time zones.
Yeah, right. For real.
At least I'm in a different time zone.
Yeah. Me and Sean are.
No, we West Coast, baby. We West Coast.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm third coast.
West side. Watch
Third
out.
Coast. Oh, Third Coast. I see the dog paw drinking coffee.
Yeah.
What else? Good choice.
Woof. Not a
Good
bad
choice.
Not a bad one.
I probably
So,
would have brewed
Sean-
myself a little coffee before I got on here, but I'm a little pretentious with my coffee preparations.
Oh,
I'm
he's
guessing
very
either going-
specific.
Certain type of
You should get
press,
along-
certain type of espresso. Certain, I'm guessing one of those.
You get
type of-
along really well with our other homie, Chino.
Okay.
All
All
that
right.
dude's a coffee aficionado, dude. Like that guy, all he does is just, what up, man?
Damn.
He works for a coffee
Kiddos.
company, so
What up,
he
Uncle
like
Bam?
does stuff like he's very spoiled with it now
Yeah,
because he
Yeah.
has like all the top notch shit. I'm just like,
it happens. I'm
And I'm
sorry.
like,
I'm
and he's-
sorry, Alex. I completely interrupted you with my coffee pretension.
yeah.
Oh no, because I got into like what I wanted to hear about your coffee stuff. So
Oh,
I didn't
okay then.
I didn't mind. I heard you say that, but I'm like, well, it depends on me because I mean, my thing is I'm just a mocha guy. So if you just
Okay.
get me a good mocha, I'm all about that. So,
Yeah. Yeah, you work in a coffee shop long enough, and a lot of it rubs off on you, and it
Yeah,
doesn't
that would-
it doesn't go away.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, my thing was when I was in college, I had that little like one of the nicer artisan cafes at the college and stuff. So
Yeah.
they actually
Cafes.
made good coffee and stuff.
Yeah.
That was the thing. They actually made good coffee that wasn't that expensive and stuff. So it wasn't like
Right.
Starbucks prices.
It's just one of those things with coffee. It's you can really in the home. I think I have about 4 different ways of making coffee, and it's become a thing of like, what time of day is it? My go-to lately has been several months back. We broke down. I've seen Sean make coffee. He is a bit of a snob. It is true. It is true. I have made
I
Ben.
understand. I understand.
I have made Ben coffee. I've made several people coffee.
He's like, but I can't find the fucking beans from Guadalajara.
Mhm.
Guadalajara. Now that's
Oh, well,
a
if
new
we're
one.
talking about now, if we're talking about
Where-
like,
where's that?
certain
It's a secret
coffee
city.
beans and stuff like that, I'm just like that too. Like honestly,
Yeah.
like
For me, it's more like, my go-to these days is I got one of those Chemex brewers.
mhm.
I like that a lot. It's a good, consistent cup of coffee. You can make like I have an 8-cup vessel, so it's enough for me and my wife to have. I get 2 cups, she gets a cup and a half, and that's all she drinks. So that works out for us for like the majority of things. We broke the carafe on our automatic brewer, so we haven't been
Oh,
using
no.
that as much. We need to get a replacement for that.
Y'all used it so much that it broke.
No, I dropped it, is what happened.
Isn't that always
Uh,
the worst?
I love
Then
your coffee.
Yeah, right. Thankfully, it was empty.
No.
Then
Thankfully.
I have a friend of mine, as a thank you for giving him some guitar lessons so he could propose to his girlfriend, got me one of those stovetop espresso pots. Now
Hey,
that's
hey,
my
awesome.
afternoon cup. That's my afternoon cup. Just like straight, full brew of that. That's an afternoon cup for me.
I'll have to
Really
look
good
into
stuff
one of
right
those,
there.
'cause that sounds like
Wait,
perfect
you
right up
taught
my
a
alley.
guy to play guitar to propose to his girlfriend?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's the story right there. What?
Teach me chords, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he had a specific song that he wanted that was kind of like their song. He wanted to learn how to play it. He went for when he proposed, and I just asked him, "When do you want to propose?" And we just basically spent time working on that. But I
Yeah.
gave him a little extra, so that was like, you're not just learning this one song. I'm going to give you a little bit more foundational stuff, so that if
that's
you
awesome.
want to do more, you can do more if you want.
teach him how to
Uh,
fish.
Yeah, exactly. Teach a man to
There you
fish.
go.
It's basically like that.
There you go.
And then the other coffee brewer I have is actually not a coffee maker at all. I don't know if you guys ever saw those stores and malls called Tivana.
Now,
Sounds
So,
familiar.
and I worked at one of these. So basically, it was like a tea
It would make
emporium.
sense why it sounds.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh
So
yeah,
they had
I know.
they had
Yes.
they had their perfect tea makers. And
Yeah.
it's basically the same kind of concept as French press, except instead of plunging it down and then pouring like a normal coffee pot, you just throw it on top of your cup. It filters out the bottom. I got 2 of those. So one's a tea maker, one's a coffee maker. It basically tastes like French press. So
There you go.
if I just want the 1 cup, then I just go with that.
There you go. All right,
If
now. Wait.
I was gonna say, if I do use coffee, I'm gonna use that 1980s coffee maker that I have in the kitchen.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't drink
terrible.
coffee really all that much.
I've had coffee made in many an old percolator pot, and I will say there is a bit of a charm to drinking coffee from a very old percolator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's something about it.
Nostalgia
Yeah, it's laced with notes of nostalgia.
and diarrhea.
Oh. I can't deny that. I can't deny that.
Get onto that segment. That's a good segue.
That's a good segue.
Are you talking to me now?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, Sean, and but I wanted to ask you just how are you dealing with the whole pandemic right now and stuff like that down there in SoCal and stuff? I know it's a little bit different compared to where I am.
Yeah, it's all right. You know, you make do. It's obviously weird, you know. We were thinking probably back in, you know, when this all went down, like, oh, this won't last all that long, but it's lasting a lot longer than we all wanted it to. But, you know, doing demos and working at home all the time, it's, you know, largely remained unchanged. Companies have still been sending stuff pretty consistently. I only had to at one point in the year reach out to companies cold and try to get stuff from them.
Which I guess that makes sense and stuff like that. Oh, by the way, I got a quick little surprise for you, Sean.
Uh-oh. Oh, no!
Hello!
Hey, buddy.
Trouble.
Looks like I brought in the trouble tonight.
He brought in the trouble. Hey, buddy.
What's happening?
Oh, not much, man. You all right?
Oh, I can't complain.
Well, hey, it's better to not be able to complain sometimes than being bad.
Well, you know, the whole COVID thing and the world falling apart, and you know, what are you gonna do?
It's as one of my college teachers said. He's like, he walks into our studio tech at the college that I went to, and he's like, Jim, the world's going to hell in a handbasket. Can you fix it with a soldering iron? And it's like, okay.
What?
It was
I
great.
got duct tape.
Yeah, I got duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape.
I can fix anything with a soldering iron and gaffer tape.
Yeah,
There
that
we
sounds
go.
about right.
Yeah, good
all you
times,
need.
man.
All
Gaffer
you
tape
need in
is all
life.
you need.
Sean, did you go to GIT or something like that?
Yeah, I went to GIT. Then after that I did the music business program at MI, and then I did the recording right after that. So
Wow.
3 years of my life spent in that Hollywood campus, man. It was a wild time. It was good times, great times.
I didn't even make it through Mel Bay Book 1.
I actually was looking for my Mel Bay Book 1 the other day, and I can't find it anywhere.
You know, people say if you could go back in time, would you, you know, what would you do? I'd go back in time and kill Mel Bay. That's what I would do.
Oh,
Okay, Mel
man.
Bay Book 1.
Fuck.
Jesus Christ.
I just realized I have a fucking Bible of Mel Bay like this thick of just all those things, dude. What the? I was like, Mel Bay. I was like, that
I
sounds
don't want to
familiar.
learn. I don't want to learn the old gray mare or whatever. You know, I want to learn, you know, Highway to Hell or something. Jeez.
Yeah, I did. That was how I got started in guitar. The first first lesson was Mel Bay Book 1, Page 1. And luckily for me, my teacher also at the end of the first lesson was like, hey, do you want to learn any songs? So it was like, okay, at the end of every lesson, we work on a song that I want to learn. So that felt pretty good. Oh man, that's just too much, Jay. That's just too much. Thanks so much.
I mean, you do got some of the best pedal demos out there. I have to say too, they're really good.
Dude, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say to that. It's humbling. Mm-hmm. It really is. I'm honestly, I'm just a guy who's just obsessed with this stuff. I get so jazzed every time a new piece of gear shows up, and I got to think about like how I want to use it. The best part is like, really, like I'm looking at the board I'm using right now, and like every single thing on there was sent to me, except the G2. I paid money for my G2. But just like but even that, every single person that makes stuff on this board, I know them personally. They're friends, and everything is good. There's not a thing on here that I can say there's a downside to. Everything is good. So sweet, I really do have it good, you know, being able to not only get these things and make these videos as the way that I make my living in this world, but also like Robert Keeley, Joel Cordy, Josh Scott, the guys from Rev, Cody from Westminster Effects, Dan Steinhardt, even the guys at Morley, you know, everybody's become a friend.
Right.
And that is the craziest part about it. Like, it just occurred to me the other day, I was watching one of the newest JHS videos where Josh is like cloning his 20-year Y2K pedal board. And it just occurred to me that next year will be the same kind of 20-year anniversary for me. I started actually getting pedals in 2001, and I still have all of them. My first pedals I still have. So I'm thinking I'll do a little exploration sometime next year of some of the gear that I was focused on and playing 20 years ago. But yep, these weird little, it's weird to think that these weird little boxes that I started getting obsessed with at 14 eventually led to a job.
Do you remember that Y2K scare?
Oh, hell yeah, I do.
Okay, I was working at a music store, and I get a call from one purchaser or whatever at Humana. I mean, you know how big Humana hospitals are, right?
Right.
They wanted 800 sets of wrist bells in case the power went out, so patients could shake their hand and they would hear.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm like, where the hell am I going to find 800 sets of wrist bells? I'm calling every distributor, you know, I can think of, and they're like,
right,
we got like 4, but they never got them. But it was like everybody was panicking.
Yeah, it was a weird thing. I mean, luckily for me, like nobody in my family was like that doomsday-ish about it.
Right.
So for us, like it was just like, is something gonna happen? And then eventually, like you stay awake till midnight on New Year's Eve, and nothing happens. You're just like, okay, yeah, nothing happens. It's just another day. It's not that complicated. And if we were so worried back, if we were so worried back then about things like going to hell, and we didn't have enough confidence in ourselves as like human beings to be able to recover quickly from just like computers deciding that like it's the year 0 and we don't know what to do. Like, come on. Like that is a hell of a pessimistic outlook, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Y2J.
Not for Y2J, exactly. That's what we need. Countdown to the millennium.
There you go.
Oh, Alex, is that the Vola that you won, or is this a different Vola?
No, this is my Vola that I won.
Okay.
Different Vola. I wanted a Vola, but I don't have that money.
Yeah.
Before
Have you
they
seen their new?
just opened up a Vola dealership here. I don't
Mm.
know
Oh,
how
did they?
well they're doing with them. They're fairly pricey.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
they're
thing about
not.
them.
They're not cheap,
No.
but I will say the ones that I did get a chance to play were like, okay, I'm okay with this.
No, it's my most favorite guitar to grab and play.
Yeah, it's a total player, and they have a look all their own. They don't necessarily. I would say that if there's one gripe I have about them, it's that sometimes the pickups are they have a little too much in the high end, but that means
Yes.
that you just have a lot more play with your tone control.
Yeah,
But
and
for
that true. And then also what I ended up doing is I actually ended up moving my pickups a little bit up and down and stuff of each
Yeah.
one. So
Yeah.
I ended up doing that, maybe putting up the bass end a little bit more. Like I believe I have the bass end a little bit higher up on my neck pickup. I love the buttery smooth tones of neck pickup. And then it's about just like straight up down the middle. But I think I dropped it down a little bit on my bridge so it doesn't get that super brightness that I did notice when I first got it.
Yeah. Yeah. I really liked though for it with all that brightness, because I was getting into like the 1980s session guitar player tone with like just really insane amounts of reverb, echo, and chorus and compression on that Oz that I was trying out.
Ooh, I want to
Split
the one I want next.
Split that bridge pickup, put it in position 2 with the middle and the bridge. Get that heavy compression, get that nice chorus, that lush reverb, but just a little bit too much delay on there. Digital delay, I might add. Oh, that there right there is just like, that's whole note chords being held out for an entire bar. Just wiggle it a little bit with the whammy bar.
Yeah, you see.
That's 1980s. That's 1980s clean tone right there, and it works for me.
Just wiggle it a little bit with the bar.
Just wiggle it a little bit. Exactly. Just a little.
Just a little wiggle stick action.
Does that Strat case still smell like paint, or did you open a window, or what?
Mine still smell like paint?
Sean, does your Strat case still smell like paint?
Oh,
yeah.
Right. Oh,
You're
man.
like, the freaking case smells like spray paint. Like, whoa.
Oh, no, it's much less than when it's much less than when I first got it. But when I first got it, my wife could smell it downstairs. That's how strong the smell was. I actually, for the unboxing portion, I unboxed it like right on the landing, just outside the door here, and it was just sitting on this little table, and I open the case up, and I leave it open as I'm like inspecting the guitar. I close off the camera, and she's like, "What smells like spray paint?" Oh, it was so
you spray paint your
hilarious.
guitar in the house.
Exactly. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
that's right. I did sell Ben my MXR stereo chorus, so I'm glad that that's getting some play.
Nice.
That MXR chorus was so good, but then you eventually find other things that are simpler that work for you.
You now made me split. You made me do what you said on the Vola and stuff. Split the bridge pickup and keep the neck as a humbucker.
There you go.
Good sound. I like it.
Yeah, man. That's one of my favorite things about the guitar is like all the way over there, and I'll have to go off camera in order to get it. But it's got 2 Seymour Duncans in it, and the way that I spec'd it out, each pickup has its own individual push-pull for coil splits. That kind of thing. I don't know why more companies don't do that when they offer the coil split, having individual coil splits, because the ability to blend a slight single coil sound with a fuller humbucker sound, 1, cuts down the noise a little bit, which always helps. And then 2, if you have that, you can do it both ways. But what I like to do, middle position of the 2 humbuckers, split the neck pickup so you get that glassy, stratty kind of single coil, full humbucker so that you get the cut and just throw some compression on there, even out the dynamics a little bit. That is a great cutting yet full clean tone that doesn't have any sort of that like peaky bridge pickup mid-range thing that tends to like ruin the clean tone.
Yes. Yeah.
That's, I don't know why more companies don't do that, but I don't know, man. It's a great little feature.
You got me now going in like I'm gonna be messing with my tones now, my Boss Katana now.
Well, I just got I got a new guitar. Anybody that follows me on Instagram will have seen the little teaser shot that I posted of what that new guitar is. But it has a bridge humbucker and a neck single coil, which I wasn't so sure I was going to like very much. But
probably my favorite tone right there.
Dude, I'll tell you, like you throw that thing in the middle position on a clean tone and it's glassy, it's full, it's articulate. Oh boy, it is something special.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's actually a lovely thing I have about my Gibson stuff. It actually does have it's one of the 2015 models without all the stupid specs. No rotor tuners and none of that kind of stuff. It only has just the coil splitting and the boost. That's it.
Nice. Yeah, those 2015 Gibsons were an odd year. But then again, anything Gibson did between 2014 and 2019 was really odd. Mm-hmm. Just a lot of specifications that just didn't make any sense. A lot of really cool ideas, though. Just the specs that they matched them with just didn't really gel.
Right.
Like you were saying with the coil splits and the built-in boost. Really cool idea that we see. Like I was looking at some other Stratocasters that Fender's making. There's an artist signature for this guitar player, Lincoln Brewster. I guess he's big in the Christian music world. But he's not just got he's got a push-pull clean boost that's just a flat clean boost. And then he's got an adjustable mid boost as well on it. So he can basically use that mid boost to turn his bridge pickup into like a fat humbucker kind of sound. So just the idea of having like these cool built-in boost features, like other companies are adopting it as well. Gibson did it several years ago. It's just that one, you have everybody who's like, oh, Gibson. And then two, it was just executed on a guitar that a lot of people just didn't get along with. Right. I think that was the year. That was the year that they started widening the fingerboard on some of the Les Paul standards, and I remember playing those, and I love my Les Pauls, but that neck was just so wide. You're just like, buddy, you're Gibson, not Ibanez.
And they put the titanium nut on there or something.
Yeah, it was either titanium or brass. I can't remember what the material was, but
I think it was brass.
And they had the control cavity had like the dip switches in there.
Yes. I think that was the 2018 model. Yeah.
Like saying over 500 different options. You've got two humbuckers. How can you have like 500 different options with two? I just never, and it's stuff that nobody was asking for. Nobody, and we're such a bunch of picky nerds. Just you don't mess with the Les Paul. I mean, it's just I mean, it's just two humbuckers.
That was the other thing.
There you go.
The Les Paul is the Les Paul.
Yeah. There is something to be said.
Any different?
Yeah, there were like dip switches for like one push pull would be either coil tap or coil split.
But there was no way to make it sound like the original?
No, nothing like that. But it was like you could either do coil split where you'd get like a true single coil or a coil tap where it would just take out parts of the coil. So same basic idea, just different execution of ways to get that sound. One of the dip switches, I think, turned on and off a phase switch for the middle position. I think there was also a treble bleed circuit that you could turn on and off per pickup. which I thought was I actually thought that part was kind of cool, because for the neck pickup, I'd love to have like a treble bleed on a neck humbucker so that you could roll it off, get a little vibey with your crunchy tone. But for bridge pickup, you know, like I don't really mind the darkening of the sound on the bridge pickup when you clean up. It actually probably benefits it more. But there were a lot of cool ideas, but again, like I said, just executed in a guitar that just people couldn't get along with anyway. And yeah, to Quentin's point, like you don't mess with a Les Paul. Like a Les Paul is supposed to be a Les Paul. But I think what they were trying to do is probably make a Les Paul for the modern, like the modern guitar player, in the sense that the player doesn't just play one style of music; they play multiple.
Yeah.
So they were trying to.
You can't exactly pick up like a Gibson and play like some retarded crazy metal. Like, so that's probably.
Yeah, you can.
Sure.
I mean, I don't really hear it all the time. That sounds very
Matt
good.
Heafy of Trivium.
I'm talking about like death metal.
Known for
I'm talking about like death metal. I'm talking about like extreme
or like
shit.
death metal, like black metal.
Maybe if they would have, like Sean said, maybe if they would have came out with, you know, Les Paul Ultra, but you don't do it to the entire freaking line and go, this is just.
Oh, it was the entire line. I thought it was just one fucking.
Oh yeah,
guitar.
then they started getting like really weird into names and stuff like that. Yeah.
We're
just imagine fucking trying to
Sean
find
might have froze.
Sean froze. He blew up. Goddamn internet.
He froze on though.
Yeah. So what do you think about that, Sean?
What?
Yeah, just imagine finding those parts later on when that shit breaks.
Oh my god, dude, yeah. I mean, we're such picky bastards, the guitar players. I mean, we'll argue for a week over what pick you should use. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
By the way, you should use the Dunlop H3, those little purple bastards right there. I can't use anything else, man. That one.
You use the Jazz 3s.
I'm like the opposite. I have to have like the extra sharp ones.
Yeah, I use the Jazz 3s, the little ones like that.
Yeah.
These are what I use. I have this one.
Oh yeah. Tortex.
Yeah. Then I got this one on the side. If I want to use this, I never really use it as much. And then the Prodigy.
back.
I'm back.
I always have those right there.
Sean,
the Vola picks were pretty good too, but they were just a little bit too flimsy for me. I needed a thicker one.
We were saying how guitar players, we could argue over which pick you should use.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but that's what I use. Those little purple H3s.
Oh yeah, the Tortex Jazz 3s. That's good stuff. Yeah. I like the Jazz 3s, although I'm caught between Jazzy. I'm caught between a rock and a hard place with the Jazz 3 because my favorite Jazz 3 is actually the Eric Johnson classic Jazz 3s.
This is just a little bit bigger than a it's an H3.
Okay.
Bigger than a Jazz 3. The Jazz 3s just seems a little small, but like a 351 style pick. It's like holding something that big. I can't.
Yeah.
I just can't.
I personally have gotten really into the size of the Jazz 3 XLs.
Yeah.
Because I love like the articulate tip of a Jazz 3, but the size of the XL is much better. But between like, if I had to choose material wise, the Eric Johnson classic Jazz 3, which he swears sounds different than the regular.
Oh, dear Lord.
Having done side-by-side comparisons of like the modern red Jazz 3s versus the Eric Johnson Jazz 3s, there's something to it. There is absolutely something to what he says about there being a difference. Because one of the things that I really like about the Eric Johnson classic Jazz 3s is the way that they wear out. They wear out in a way that it maintains the articulate point, but it gets a little rough on the edge that always hits the strings. And so I find when I actually do when I do
3 different
upstrokes,
S3s.
when I do upstrokes on any guitar with the Eric Johnson Jazz 3, it's almost like that extra little bit of roughness on the edge of the pick adds just a slight little amount of extra grit to the note. So anytime there's a note in a solo that I want to emphasize a little bit more, maybe get a little bit more juice out of, I do an upstroke and use the Jazz 3.
Okay.
So it's a really weird thing. I just wish that we could get Jazz 3s in the XL size with this material. Because then I
Pete
could use it
stamps
for
his own
any...
picks.
Huh?
Pete Hickson stamps his own picks.
Oh, okay. Do you have one of those? Those
No.
I have to use a different pick for an upstroke, a different pick for a downstroke. I got to use a different pick for each string. Holy shit.
I did get into a point in the last recording round that we did when I would track rhythm guitars. The rig was entirely different. So I would take notes on like what guitar I used, what amp I used, what cables I used, and I would also take note of what pick I used. So that when I went and tracked the lead guitars, I would use a different amp, different guitar, a different pick, different cables.
Wow.
Just so that it gave the illusion that there were two guitar players in the band who had specific tonal preferences. It was the nerdiest thing I had ever done, but the result actually ended up being quite good.
Wow.
Well, because it's true, everyone's a little bit different and stuff. Yeah, I'm not very picky about my picks. I use 6 different picks at one time.
Yeah, I
During,
understand.
like if I'm playing, they're just
No, I
sitting on my
understand that.
desk, and I just grab one if I'm playing something. I'm like, maybe I want to try this one now.
Yeah, totally. I've actually been having that little bit of a challenge with this church gig I've been doing, because it's like I'm running all my pedals in the front of the amp, which I don't normally do. I like 4-cable method. I'm using mostly single coil guitars, which I normally am a humbucker guy. And then I've had moments in rehearsals where I'll put like 3 different picks in the little pocket of my my jeans, and at any point I'll just grab a different pick just because I want to see like what's gonna really work.
Right.
Thankfully, Tortex tends to work for most everything.
That's true. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I think my main pick I'm using is
running all your time-based stuff through the front of your amp.
What's that?
You don't have an issue with running your time-based stuff through the front?
Not for this gig, no. Because I basically just set the board up like a normal kind of signal flow with like all the gain stuff before the time-based stuff. And I've been using the Hughes and Kettner Black Spirit 200 as the amp. And that actually I usually have a problem running effects into the front end when the clean sound has both a volume and a gain control, because it's almost like you can get too much clipping in the front end to handle most pedals. Luckily with the Black Spirit, even though it has that setup, the gain doesn't get so out of control that you can't run like a wide variety of drive pedals in front of it. And the amount of headroom it has, thankfully, and the way the preamp is structured, even with the time-based stuff added on top of that, it doesn't really it's able to produce it pretty well. But normally I do run all my time-based stuff in an effects loop of some sort.
I just remember I had an old Roland SDE 1000. And I remember the amp I had didn't have an effects loop. And man, when I finally got an amp that had an effects loop, I was like, oh my God, your delay just sounds so much.
like, what's this?
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus, man. It's like,
I mean, hey, You know, every effects. The unfortunate thing about the effects loop is that so many of them are different. There's not really a across the board standard of what an effects loop is and how it should be constructed and what you should do with it.
Mm-hmm.
There are amps that have effects loops that suck. There are amps that have effects loops that are great. What's been great for me is the Boss Waza tube amp expander. I have that hooked into the rocker verb. This has its own effects loop in it. So what I've been doing is I've been running all the stuff in the effects loop of this completely independent of the amplifier. And what's great about that is that it really does feel like it takes the idea of the effects loop, which I always associate with being like an aux send on a console in a recording studio.
Right.
It really does take that idea to another level with that. My core amp tones don't get touched by anything related to reverb or delay or anything like that. It's all in here completely separate.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I like that a lot. And as a matter of fact, I've even stopped. The rocker verb has a built-in reverb on it. I've completely stopped using it, and I'm using the reverb that you can use in the TAE.
Yeah.
Because there's way more tweakability to this, and I can make it as subtle as I want, or I can make it as extreme as I want. There's even built-in delay in this as well, which I'll usually use for delay in like demo videos if I'm just demoing like a drive pedal, or I need some kind of, or like a chorus or a compressor, and I just want to like show it off in a context in which I would really use it. I just use what's in here, and completely, this is just isolated tone generator going into here. It's a great setup. I'd almost let. What's that?
It's sexy.
It is sexy. It's really sexy.
You're gonna love this. I went from using a Helix rack, the rack, right?
Ooh, that's a sexy rack too.
To this. Wait for it.
Shit.
Yep.
You found
I sold the rack not to get the RP360, just because I didn't even use the foot controller, and I really wasn't using it. You know, I'm just doing YouTube videos, and I hated the programming on it, and it really didn't just freak me out at how awesome it was. You know, it's like okay. But saw some YouTube videos, and it's like, hell, I'll try this. Always like Digitech stuff. What the hell? I get it was $125.
Oh,
now, when I first got it, after 3 minutes of going through the presets, the only thing I was thinking was, how long is it going to take me to take pictures and put this fucker back on Craigslist? But what saved it was the editing software. I found it and downloaded it and started going just through the amplifiers. And it's like, well, holy shit, this thing is
wait a minute,
actually not that bad. I mean, using something like that live, out of the question. I would still probably be using a tube head, a 412, and some pedals. Or, you know, when I was playing out, I used a tube screamer, a crybaby, and I had an old SPX 90 in the loop just for a single delay setting, and that was it.
Right.
But for what I do on YouTube, it's like, damn, this thing is actually not that bad, man.
I want to tell you guys this, just being a live sound engineer. Don't trust the live sound engineer with your stuff. Make sure that you at least have some sort of good tone on stage. You don't unless your live sound engineer is just a good engineer and stuff. They're not. Some of them just never gonna have a clue and stuff, especially with monitor
you
mixes.
can also stick an SM57 and have it off axis by an inch or two, and it sounds horrible coming out of the PA. So you got to know what you're
Yeah.
doing.
Oh yeah.
I used to
Yeah.
use. I had them Boogie Road Ready 412 cabinets, and I used. You remember the drum claw?
Yes.
I used
Yeah.
a drum claw because it would clamp down on that cabinet. And that's what I used to mic my cabinets. I had a boom stand on stage, and you kept on hearing like stage noise, and you might hit the stand. Those drum claws were a lifesaver.
Never thought about putting one of those on an amplifier. That's a good idea, actually. But I mean, at least you gotta have at least the place just has to have smaller boom stands. That's the other thing. Like, I have a person that knows how to put boom stands on the stage too, so they're not in the way.
Yeah. I think that's probably one of the best things about like this church gig that I've been doing recently is like
I got you.
it's the same guitar player or it's the same sound engineer every single week. And since we had been since I've been like helping out with the production and everything, like we built up a rapport. So when it came down to me like getting into the band and actually starting to play, I would tell him ahead of time, like, hey, this is what my setup is going to be. So this is what I'm going to need. And he'd say, bring whatever you want and we'll figure out a way to make it work.
That's great.
Once I brought everything and we got everything set up, we started dialing it in to the point where it's like, now anytime that I play there, and I've only technically played with the group twice.
Right.
But by the second time only, he was just like, roll up with whatever you want and we're going to make it work. But by the second time that I had done it, it was already like he figured out what he needed to do. He figured out how we needed to go about it. And if there was any changes to it, we were able to communicate it enough to like make it happen within 10 seconds.
Right.
Not all sound guys are created equal, though.
Now,
No,
are you guys
they're not.
using in-ear monitors or floor monitors?
Not all
Or
ears are created.
I am using in-ears, but the singers use a combination thereof. Some of them are on ears, others prefer the floor monitors. So we have two setups.
I got out of
Yeah,
it
my stage
before
is the
the
same.
in-ears got to be halfway affordable.
Hmm.
You know, it was
Oh
still
well, if did you guys see
floor
Phil
monitors or
McKnight's
side
latest
fills or
video?
something, and
What about
turning my amp up to 8. You know,
yeah? What about Phil McKnight's latest video?
He just came out with one of those from Waves, WAVS and stuff. It's something about these custom in-ear monitors where you just take like 3 pictures of your ear and stuff. And
Oh,
they
yeah.
have really nice-
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got mine molded at the NAMM show back in
Yeah.
2014.
Ooh,
So
where'd you get a mold of that? Who
I
was it
got
with?
them. I got them from Ultimate Ears.
Yes. Yeah, those are my friends.
Those have been working out really well. The only issue I have is I will need to. I don't know if they can repair it or if I just have to get a new set entirely. I'm hoping I don't have to get a new set entirely. But one of the connector points going from that's on the in-ear monitor itself, one of a piece of it broke off somehow.
Right.
So every
Yeah,
once
that's
in a
weird.
while,
Yeah.
it'll just like crackle and go in and out a little bit. But for the most part, they still work. And if I have the cable at just the right amount of pressure and the right angle,
Yes.
everything's fine.
What kind of headphones
normal
are they
cable
again?
issues?
take a
They're-
hunk of gap tape and put it over your ear. Is that what you?
Yeah,
Ear
right.
monitors,
Duct
yeah.
tape.
Yeah, duct tape. They're Ultimate Ears, AJ. Ultimate Ears.
I was looking at Empire headphones I guess that first day initially, like I spent like a good time there. They showed, have you heard them?
No, I haven't.
They're basically like and I don't know you can do this, but apparently you can. They're basically like mini NS10s in your ears.
Weird. That's kind of interesting.
Right.
I mean,
They're really
I'm
nice.
a little apprehensive about that idea, and only because a lot of people see NS10s in so many recording studios. They think they're these be-all, end-all studio monitors. The reality,
monitors they use.
the reality of the NS10s is that they're not actually that great.
Yeah, they sound like shit.
But
they tell you what's wrong with your mix.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
NS10s are they're not for reproducing the mix exactly as you want. But if your mix sounds good on a pair of NS10s, they will sound amazing on other speakers.
On your headphones that you're wearing right now, they'll sound great. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's one of those things when you're in their mixing studio and stuff like that, you have to remember that not everyone's sitting there listening to them on the high-end monitors that you're listening to now, and same with the band.
Exactly.
Stuff. Most of the time they're listening on mono little Bluetooth speakers that everyone has. That's why the whole thing about with Glenn Fricker, he's like mix and mono and stuff. Don't mix the whole time mono, but listen to it in mono and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
you have to.
It's like
you have to reference in mono. You just have to. And actually, mixing in mono is a total art form in and of itself, because you are dealing with one audio path completely, and so you have to mix in a completely different way than you do on stereo. There is an absolute art to it.
And then when you hit that stereo button, you find out that it bumps harder, and then there's stuff that the artifacts are there, and you're just like, hey, now I got to cut these down a little bit more, and you go back and forth, and you find that sweet spot.
Yeah,
but it's also an artistic form. There's no right and wrong way. There's just don't fuck it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Sean, would you agree with me that looking over Alex's left shoulder, is that wiring crap just freaking you out? Look at that wiring job, man. Dear Lord, son. There's plates off of your outlets and wires hanging down. jumping with duct tape.
You don't want to know what happened when I tried putting up my bass.
Oh my God, look at that, dude.
I had sparks fly at me when I hung up my bass.
I bet you did.
I had this one wire that I accidentally, like when I was putting up the hammer and the nail to do the first screw and stuff. Yeah, I accidentally just went off and hit the wire, and it sprung off at me. And then because my room in here, I have my own separate power breaker in my room, separate from my house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear Lord!
This is not wiring that we use.
I'm gonna get off here. I just wanted to get on here with Sean and tell him I love him. He's my hero and all that good stuff. So.
Oh, Quentin!
Of course, Quentin.
You're only too kind. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm pretty much lying though.
You're awesome, Quentin, for coming. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, y'all have a good one, man. Thanks for having me on.
Have a good one, buddy.
Later,
Take
guys.
care.
Yeah, I randomly got messaged by Quentin. He was just like, "Hey, send me a link. I want to surprise Sean." I'm like, "Okay."
I'll take it, man. It's good. It's all good. It's all good times.
It detoured the show, but here's the thing: the show it detoured in a good way. It was a nonstop talking thing. It's not like we're sitting here in silence the whole time.
Yeah, it's good. It's good times, man. You know, live streams are live. That's something people forget a lot about, is that live television production, which is essentially what we're kind of doing right now, is
Jesus Christ, that's live.
It's a live. It's Jesus Christ, that's live. And just look at that whole thing right there. That was live and unplanned. Except the difference is that I wouldn't acknowledge the fact that my earbud fell out.
You would edit that out real quick.
No, I wouldn't edit that out. I wouldn't acknowledge it.
Oh.
It would be like, oh, this thing fell out. Well, I'm going to continue talking to you guys about this thing that's kind of the subject of what we're talking about.
What?
And, all these other things to kind of distract you from the fact that I subtly put this thing back in my ear. You didn't even notice that it fell out.
I did, because that's where your microphone is. So you know how.
Well, yeah, that too. That too.
Well, I was gonna say,
That
like
too.
from our
I'm a weirdo.
podcast,
Yeah.
our podcast. There's a lot of stuff that we mess up on, and then we'll have to like restart it. So we'll just edit all that stuff out.
Yeah. One of
You
these
guys
days,
remind me to do something. I have to do something.
yeah. One of these days when we get back into the swing of this, which I'm anticipating being very soon, we'll have to let the people in on the process, and they'll see like a whole unadulterated Sweet Chin Music podcast.
Dude,
There
that
you
would
go.
be I already know a lot of people on my Discord that are awaiting our next episode. Pretty much.
Nice, very good. Well,
And a lot of my friends too that my
Dude.
that live not too far from me. They were like, "Yeah, we subscribe to you," and I was like, "Oh,
oh,
really,
dude, that's amazing.
And
Yeah,
I think
dude, I'm so game to get back into the swing of it, and it's like, you know, we had for those watching, like AJ and I do our wrestling podcast, and we actually recorded enough content to like have 3 different episodes worth of stuff.
He told me about this.
Unfortunately, at the time, we were basically creating live, private live streams that I would then go into on the back end of my YouTube channel, and I would download. Well, that particular day that we recorded, WWE was having a pay-per-view. We decided to do some live commentary, watch it as the show was going on, comment about it, and, you know, just have a good time in general. Well, when that went up to be processed on YouTube, YouTube flagged it as a content violation because I had uploaded content that was copyright of someone else.
Mhm.
So I basically, when I went to go try to download that file off of YouTube, of the 2.5 hours that we recorded, I only got 6 minutes.
jeez, damn. That's
So
YouTube.
and you know what was,
and I tried to go to the back end. I tried to help them out, and I was like, dude, there's like secrets around YouTube that I know we can figure it out to get it. And there are some, but I think they patch them up real quick. So you got to keep figuring these out. And
yeah,
Reddit would be the place.
yeah. Well, luckily now what I decided to do is you know, for my birthday live stream, I invited a bunch of people on, and I decided to pay for StreamYard. And so I've gotten to the tier where we can just record via StreamYard. So
that's a $39 one or whatever. Yeah.
It's something. I don't remember.
Something. I don't
But
know. I almost got that one too. And dude,
but
the record option is better.
But the point is, the next time when we finally figure out a day that we can sit down and we can actually record some stuff, we're not going to have to worry about YouTube killing my content.
Macaulay content. Macaulay content. Hey, actually, I found another way around it too. I've been using OBS and Twitch. Fucking, you can do a lot of shit like that with. We can actually fucking play the shit on Twitch and not get striked for it.
Interesting.
As long as
So we could have
actually,
a Twitch.
as long as you're actually doing stuff over it and stuff like that, it's and then also as long as you don't want to technically take the affiliate that's at 50 followers and stuff, and honestly, it's a little nice not to take that affiliate right away and stuff, gain your followers, gain your thing and stuff and up, so then you can have more control once you do sign your affiliate contract and stuff like that. You can possibly negotiate with Twitch and stuff, because there's like a whole thing of like, if you do sign the affiliate contract, any content that you produce on Twitch, you're not allowed to put onto YouTube for 24 hours, which is not too bad. It's not 24 hours, not too long, but it's the thing of like, you can't. It's one of those things of like, you can't go live on YouTube, can't go live on Twitch at the same time.
Right. Well,
You
one of
can
the
with OBS.
Yeah, that's one of the shitty
And
things
StreamYard.
is like with OBS, or at least Streamlabs OBS,
Yeah, slobs.
which a lot of guys on Twitch use. What I love about the idea of it is that there is such a level of customization that you can really tailor your stream and brand it to yourself. You can do all these cool things for the
Yes.
people watching. But
Yes.
unfortunately, in this household, we're a Mac household, and there's no Mac compatibility. And the last time we bought a PC, within 2 years of it,
Ask that guy then.
yeah,
You gotta
this
ask
guy.
how AJ does it because he has Mac 2 now. that
Well,
he's
I'm gonna
using it
have
on.
I'm gonna have to try to figure things out because I'm rethinking my live stream strategy for next year. I've kind of alluded to it. Yeah, I've alluded to a little bit on my streams when they happen. But I am considering I've considered recently just eliminating live streams altogether. As much fun as they can be to interact with, unfortunately, I feel like the pandemic has led to a oversaturation of the live stream market. Everybody's streaming now, and so
Yeah.
it's gotten to a point where the format is just very like any idiot can hit a boat with a bottle. You know,
Right.
it's like every single person with a YouTube channel and they have a certain amount of followers can go live whenever they want. And a lot of people do go live whenever they want. But not only that, now we have YouTube Live, we have Facebook Live, there's Twitch, there's all these places where people are delivering live in the moment content. Unfortunately, for like our segment of the market where we focus on music, we focus on guitar, there's only so many hours in the day that you can do this stuff, and there's only so many things that you can talk about at one point in time. That's honestly why over the course of the last few months, I cap off my streams and try to at an hour, because it's just me. And unless I have a guest on and we can like interact with each other, I don't, as much as I love talking about gear with you guys, and as much as I love taking questions and helping everybody out in their guitar and music journeys, at a certain point, you just hit a wall where you have to stop, and you have to remember that even though you are engaging with this audience that wants to watch you at this moment, you have other things going on outside of this live stream bubble that you are in. So for me, it's just all come down to, I want to be able to, anytime I do a stream, I want people to feel like it's an event. I want people to feel like they really, really, really get something out of a live stream. And it's not just me noodling on the guitar for 45 minutes and maybe answering a few questions. I want there to be some substance to it. And there's just oftentimes with these live streams, there's just not enough substance. Even when there are channels that are like moderately successful or really successful, you get a lot of repeat questions from people where it's like, 2 weeks ago on the stream, they answered this question. We don't need to hear them answer it again. And that with YouTube, and one of the amazing things about the live format on YouTube is I've gotten super chats and super stickers where people are donating money to me to be able to continue doing what I do. And I appreciate it immensely. But a lot of times you just have this moment where it's just like people are throwing. I remember watching a That Pedal Show live stream recently, and I love Dan and Mick with all my heart. They're some of my favorite people in this business. Dan is an absolute sweetheart, and his company makes some of the best product that you'll ever run across. But I remember seeing this super chat for an insane amount of money, and it was just this really simple question that it's like, anybody in this chat could have probably answered that for you. You didn't need to give them money to just get them to answer it.
Right.
What it is they appreciate the content.
Right. Right.
They like what you put out, and they have the money to spend, so they're like, hey.
Right. Exactly. But I think for me, it's just more important at this point to start kind of creating this really. I've been feeling this a lot this year because there's been a bit of a groundswell of, you know how sometimes there are YouTube channels that just create unnecessary drama?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been just a little bit of a groundswell of that in 2020 in the guitar community, and it's very misguided in my estimation.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I feel it's misguided is because yes, there is a level of stuff that goes on in the guitar world that a lot of people don't know about. As a matter of fact, and I'll even go on record saying this, and I'll even say this on my
going
own.
on record, boys.
There's a lot of stuff that I'm privy to that I don't share with you guys, either on this stream or on my streams or on my channel in any way, shape, or form. Because at the end of the day, it's more important to me to just highlight what is good and not contribute to what is bad.
Right.
So it's gotten to a point for me where all I'm concerned with these days is I'm concerned with all of us right now, whether we're watching this stream here on Alex's channel, whether you're watching one of my streams that I do on my channel, whether it's even if it's me and AJ doing a wrestling podcast, it is more important to me than ever before that, dude, 2020 has kicked us all in the nuts 5 times over. Why do we need to contribute to the nut kicking? Like, we need to just think about the things that are good. We need to think about helping everybody else through this time, and to get on the other side of this all better for it. It's my hope and my wish that when I leave this earth, whenever that is, I will leave the guitar community better than when I found it. So when you come on a stream on my channel, I don't care what guitar you play. I don't care what pedals you like. I don't care what genre of music you play. I'll have my opinions about things, and I am fully ready to share those opinions and perspectives. But at the end of the day, it's one of the things that I say this at the end of every demo that I do. But that's just my opinion, and I want to know what you think. Because at the end of the day, I like this Stratocaster. I'm quite taken with this guitar. Right. There might be people out there that don't like this new Stratocaster. There might be there might be folks out there, and here's a little tease for what we're going to be talking about on my stream this Thursday on SPJ Live at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There are some people out there that love multi-scale guitars.
Oh, you got it in. You got it.
There are some people that there are some people out there that love multi-scale guitars, as I'm becoming one of them. There are other people that don't care about that stuff, and they think it's stupid. Well, that's fine. That is fine. We have so many options at our disposal. We are so fucking lucky.
There's some people that don't like 2018 Gibsons.
Exactly. You're allowed to. Right. There are some people that don't even like 2020 Gibsons and Epiphones. You're allowed to. You're wrong, but you're allowed to.
Well, here's the thing. Some people don't like a 70s Gibson. Some people don't like a 60s Gibson. There's people that don't like certain things. Yeah.
Exactly.
Everyone always has their different tastes and stuff like that. That's like always the lovely thing about having different people and coming from a place of all around the world and stuff that.
And nothing about the amount of stuff that's out there is bad. We need to recognize that all this stuff being out there is actually great for all of us. Like, cheap Chinese Stratocasters are good for some people. They're not great for many, but they're good for some people. Bad Stratocaster. There we go. There are some people who want
Hi,
a
Terry.
Batacaster. There you go. Hi, Terry. But it's like some people want American-made Stratocasters, and they deserve American-made Stratocasters.
America.
But for some people, Glary makes a good enough Strat. And that is okay. That's fine. You don't need to be upset about the fact that that exists. If anything, you should be upset about the fact that China is terrible with intellectual property laws, which is a whole other conversation.
Right. And stuff.
But
and that's like when we get into like that's like where my thing of like what I wanted to bring up just like super quick is just keep the politics out of things. It's like here's the other thing when you go into like certain random things like guitar and stuff like that and start putting politics into them, and it's like, wait, hold up, like unless you're like sitting here like you're putting off music that's like Rage Against the Machine, you're sitting here trying to do this kind of thing, there's a difference. But look, that guitar is not Republican. That guitar is not Democrat. Like,
and look, there is stuff that I know about the guitar industry that can veer into that territory.
right.
I choose not to acknowledge it because it doesn't affect the overall like making of music.
Well, no.
However,
when you get yourself out of it, you'll be so much happier.
Exactly. There are some things that I know that do make me feel a little bit uneasy because it's what happens. You interact with a wide world of people. You're bound to bump into people that you disagree with. You're bound to bump into people that you do agree with.
Mm-hmm.
But the world is big, but it also gets smaller every year. And we're much better off in the long run if we worry about ourselves and care about us as individuals being happy.
Right.
Rather than trying to make everybody think the way that we do.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's always one man's opinions and another man's, garbage or whatever.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Right.
Exactly.
There's always going to be somebody fueling somebody else's fire. That's all I can know.
Yeah. Well, it's like I see Zach made a comment about The Undertaker being one of his all-time favorites. It's like I totally agree. The Undertaker is one of the greatest of all time. But there are a lot of people right now just seeing The Undertaker for the first time that are like, what's so special about this guy?
Mm-hmm.
That's just
like, yeah, it's just
it is
just
what
the way it goes.
Yeah, it is what it is. And it's like, I don't know, man. For me, like guitar and music and all this gear stuff, to this day, I still say this is all just the dream of a 14-year-old boy coming true.
Mm-hmm.
If I could go back in time and tell that kid, like, the stuff that you're getting into. Yeah, if I could do that.
That was my share, by the way.
It was a good one. I liked it. It was good. But if I could go back and tell that kid, like, all this stuff that you're getting into right now and you're like really liking it, in like 15 to 20 years, this is going to be even bigger in your life than you could ever possibly imagine. And it's going to be 10 to 15 times more awesome than it is right now. He would just be so stoked and he would be so excited and he'd be so enthusiastic. He'd be asking more
questions. Yourself at 14?
No.
You didn't
Honestly,
think you're going to be like a rock star?
No.
And
I mean,
I think
look,
14's freshman year, so.
Well, yeah, and for me, like, it was just so, like, I didn't know what to do. I just knew I wanted to do it. And so it was really trying to figure out how to navigate that world and not really, no one in my family works in the industry, so I don't have any connections from family.
Same.
I grew up in an area and went to school with a lot of people whose parents were in the industry, but they were actors or they were agents and managers for film and TV stars. Like that was the industry. I didn't have any friends whose parents were professional musicians, or I didn't even have any classmates whose friends were like record company executives. So even if I did have entertainment industry connections, quote unquote, they weren't the industry that I wanted to go into. So, you know, like if I think about the opportunity to go back and see that kid and tell him all these things, I can only, what actually makes me more excited is wondering like what his questions are going to be and how I'm going to answer them. Because think about it, 20 years ago, Robert Keeley was just barely getting started. The gig rig did not exist. Walrus Audio, Rev Amplification, JHS pedals, Chase Bliss Audio, Ormsby guitars. The Orange Rocker Verb hadn't even come out yet. Boss was king of pedals, but this is so much more than a pedal.
Yeah.
So just this idea of like what to expect and how you're going to use it and where you're going to go and the things you're going to see and the experience, the places you'll go, as Dr. Seuss said. You know,
right.
For me, that is the real interesting thing. Just wondering what his questions would be.
Right.
And how I would have to go about explaining all the stuff.
I mean, this because here's a good thing. This was like a good segue. I mean, Quentin kind of got here. We diverted away from the questions I do have, but like, because the question I have was like, how'd you get into guitar? Really, like, what made you first get into guitar, and possibly if you remember what your first guitar was.
I do. I think I've told AJ this story that it was basically related to Hulk Hogan, because at the time he was using Jimi Hendrix. Voodoo Child as his ring entrance music as Hollywood Hogan. I was a little Hulkamaniac. I thought that song was just the coolest thing I'd ever heard. And yeah, once I figured out that I could probably do that, started watching VH1, MTV. It was I want to play this guitar thing. Got up on stage for the first time and bam, that was it.
Sweet.
So you spent time learning that Voodoo Child?
A little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he come out with playing the air guitar.
Playing the guitar on the belt. That was the stuff.
Now, do you remember what your first guitar was?
Well, it was one of two, and it depends on how you look at it. The first electric guitar that I ever played was a Squier Bullet Stratocaster that my dad had. But my first guitar, where it was mine, it was what I used for everything. I took lessons, I practiced, I went to school and had class with it, was an Epiphone Les Paul Special 2. And that actually you see in its current form on my tribute video to Eddie Van Halen from a couple months ago. So if anybody wants to see it in its current form, I still have it, and you will see it in its current form in that video.
Nice. Yeah, no, my first guitar was a Amazon guitar is a Gladiator.
Nice. Very cool.
Oh yeah. But then after that, I ended up getting this red Ibanez. That's right.
And then all bets are off.
And stuff. And
I grew up with an Ibanez with Floyd Rose.
And now it's just
so it was like it was never turning back from there.
Yeah. Actually,
it took me a while to appreciate like other guitars.
The guitar I bought after that Epiphone, and I worked for like 6 months taking on extra chores around the house to earn and like saving birthday money to earn the money to buy it, was an Ibanez JS 100.
The Joe Satriani?
Yeah. No, I actually got the black one. Thankfully.
Nice. Thankfully.
But oh man, I actually was thinking about that guitar a couple months ago and went on Reverb to see if it was still around.
Now.
I don't know how much it is, but like right now, I think for me, I gotta have the dual humbucker version. I don't want the 24 fret version. I want the 22 fret version.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
So it's gonna take a while to find the one, but I have eyes for a JS in the collection eventually.
Why 22, not 24?
Well, that was the JS 100 was a 22 fret model with like 2 full size humbuckers. The newer Satriani models are 24 fret with a single coil sized humbucker in the neck. On some of them, there's a sustainer, not all of them.
Okay. I think the ones that I've played, they usually have the sustainer in them.
Yeah. That's a more recent model. But I'm thinking about
within the last like 3 years,
3 to 5 years,
yeah. That would be like one of the first models I picked up. I think at NAMM. So, because I remember I saw Joe Satriani actually open up for Sammy Hagar and stuff.
Oh, nice, very cool.
That was fun.
Did they do Chicken Foot? Is it Chicken Foot or Bumblefoot?
I think so. Yeah.
Chicken Foot is the band that they're in together. Chicken Foot.
Yeah, Chicken Foot.
Yeah. I think they did do that. They played a couple songs from Chicken Foot because it was just Sammy Hagar. It was just one of those more smaller private shows. It was at a winery and stuff.
Interesting.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's
but
cool.
It was like maybe like a few thousand people, but yeah, it was really cool. I actually was like up like maybe like third row from the stage, and that was the thing, seeing like
very cool.
Satriani and Amber's guitar player from right there on the right side and stuff. It's just like
I do.
That's where the groupies are for Sammy Hagar's, at the winery.
I can mention this, and I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to cut out in a little bit. But
no worries,
I do have a Satriani. I have a couple Satriani stories actually from my life. I actually got to see the G3 show where it was Satch, Vi, and Yngwie. In 2003 at the Greek Theater in LA, and that was awesome. Second time I saw Satch was actually the 20th anniversary tour he did for the Surfing with the Alien record, and the show was at the Rocks. The show was at the Roxy, and I got there early, so I just like bum rushed the stage, and where I ended up watching the show from was where Joe's guitar tech was set up.
There you go.
Okay. So I was basically watching Satch play right next to where his guitar tech was like taking care of instruments and like trying to get everything figured out. It was a really, really cool show to be able to see Satch in that environment. And then in 2007, the G3 tour that he did with John Petrucci and Paul Gilbert, I had gotten really into Paul Gilbert that year. So I went to that show, and Joe had like a backstage pass kind of thing where you'd do a meet and greet, you'd hang out, you get to see the stage set up and everything. But that was also the first year that I was at GIT. So a bunch of my friends also were at the show as well. So I did the whole backstage thing, got to see like all the cool setup and the guitars and everything like that. It was awesome. And Joe in and of himself is a really cool guy to meet and be able to talk to.
Damn, you got to hang out with him?
Yeah, he's one of those guys who's like, he's on that like sage level of like wisdom and knowledge kind of thing, but very approachable, which was really cool. But I ended up, I always find this really funny. That night, a bunch of my friends just wanted to hang out and wait for them after the show. So I'm like, I'm hungry. I want food, but my friends, like, they live near me. They asked if I could drive them home. I'm driving them home. Like, I'm having a good time with my friends. I end up getting home way later than I anticipated getting home. Now, I was still living with my parents at the time. So, of course, it's that classic, like, check in with us and all this stuff. And I didn't because it was so late. I'm like, you know, and I just forgot. You know, you're hanging out with your friends, you're having a good time. Sometimes you just forget things. And I just remember waking up the next morning and having to go to final exams at MI the next day, blasted tired, no clue what to do. And my parents were mad at me because I didn't check in with them when I got home or when I was leaving. And so the whole day was just like this weird dark cloud of like late teenage like stuff. It was looking back on it now, it's really funny, but the day of it wasn't so funny.
No, yeah, and and the reason why I laugh is just because it's like I live with my parents now, and my parents don't make me check in with them at all. Like ever since I turned 18, they're just like, all right, you go be by yourself, unless something like bad happens around us, and we're trying to like figure out like what's going on, making sure you're not in it. Yeah,
right.
Well, it don't matter.
well, there you go.
Right.
Well, I hate to cut the fun short, gents, but thanks so much for having me on. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for staying for an hour and 45. Yeah.
Dinner on, go do what you got to do.
Thanks, bud. And we'll be hooking up for some sweet chin very soon.
Let's get the sabbatical out of the way, man.
Done.
Yeah, man. Got to get her done. All right, guys.
2. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Season 2. We took the season 1 break into season 2. That's coming back. Gonna make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks a bunch, guys. Thanks so much.
Careful, brother.
Thanks, Sean, for stopping by, man. Thanks for stopping.
Take care, guys.
See you, bud. Sean's an awesome dude. Thanks for him stopping by. That was one of our awesome guests that we had. And thanks for Quentin for stopping by. That was awesome, too, for randomly popping in.
Quentin fucking Jane, motherfucker.
Right?
Well, yeah, man.
It was, well, yeah, so. Tell Lisa I say hi.
Oh, yeah.
It's just me now, so. She's like, oh, it's just Alex, so hey. Well, guys, we're gonna hop on out of here and stuff like that. I hope the rest of you guys have a wonderful.
I had a good time tonight.
Oh yeah, it was super fun and stuff like that. And what I want y'all, that I see that we got like 7 people in here. I'm gonna grab a link real quick. Give me 1 second here. Oh, something loads. Come on, foo, load faster.
I'm gonna put a link to.
I put whatever link you need to, because you're a mod anyway. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say if anybody wants to ever check out our after fucking show specials that we don't record, we're always in our Discord.
That's because it's literally just us hanging out as friends and stuff like that. It's
so
just
if we all want to just hang out as friends and chill in our Discord, this is the link for it. I need to make you a mod on that Discord. I need to figure out how to do that. And basically all we do is we'll just play stuff live or whatever. I don't know. We'll just chill. Sometimes I'll play. Actually, I want to do like a. I mean, I have done it before with the Mandalorian. I'll play the Mandalorian over there. Probably might do more of that stuff. I want to do like a nostalgia old shit. Maybe I might do the Star Wars special, the holiday special from like the terrible one. Might do that over there just to fuck around, and then might cover like some old. What I definitely want to do is cover some old like videos for guitar instructional videos. That would be funny. Their hair is fucking amazing. Did Alex freeze? I think Alex froze. Oh, I thought I was just talking. He was just giving me an opening. He froze. And he's frozen. Looking like Jonathan Davis ass.
I don't even know what who Jonathan Davis is.
Queen of the Dam.
Oh, I'm such an asshole. I don't know his real name.
Oh, there you go. Now he's unfrozen and he's back. Nope. He's still. Wait, where the fuck are you?
Jonathan Davis.
Oh, you're not frozen. I was just looking at the wrong. You were frozen on YouTube.
We working? Now I'm not frozen?
Yo, you're good.
Oh.
That's crazy. It froze
Yeah,
like
I was trying
right.
to grab a link and it wasn't working on my iPad, and then now it's working on my now it is. Yeah.
This sounds like
yeah.
a.
All right, there y'all. We'll talk to y'all later. Later.